Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Battle report number 28. Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Khans, versus Ray-Ban of the Empire of Sonstal. This is actually... I know I say it like every single time, but it's actually true. This game's a nail biter. I'm biting my nails just going over it right now. So, yeah, it's something else. It's got a lot of high points, on both sides. So it's interesting, and I like it. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes. Here's my list, and as you can see, I'm using this model to represent my lord. He is a Great Khan Berserk. He's got the King Slayer, Hardened Shield, Talisman of Greater Shielding, Divine Icon, and Headhunter. I'm debating on changing Headhunter over to Rotten Jaw, just because the more attacks he gets, the more useful poison would be. Not to mention, once again, I get to give it to his unit. So, yeah, I'm not fully settled on his kit, but I like the magic items I have on him, so we'll see. Next up, I have my hero choices, and of course, we start off with Khan. He's my BSB. He's got the Flesh Render, Mithril Mail, and the Talisman of Lesser Shielding. This guy is awesome. Also, I've gotten some cyborg miniatures in, some ogres and stuff like that, and my wife was so taken by one that this might be one of the last times you see this particular iteration of Khan. I might be ended up using the standard bearer model for cyborg because the wife just likes it better. And I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but Mrs. Tremendous is definitely in charge. Next up, I have my shaman. Used to be Kakashabadu. However, I have made a deal with Skaven and AZ, or to change his name over to Skaven and AZ, or because I don't want to have to keep saying that 100 times every battle report, Skaz. I've made Skaven and AZ into an acronym, and I'm very pleased. He's a level 2 wizard with the demon heart, and he uses the path of butchery. And Skaz is he's now so aptly named because I really liked Skaven and AZ's Vermin Swarm tactics that he's putting up. It's very good, and it inspired me to do Ogre Khan tactics. Not because I'm good with them or anything like that, nor am I an expert, but just because I like the idea of giving my thoughts and opinions on Ogre tactics. So in order to get his okay, it didn't feel right to just do it, steal his idea. We made a deal. I changed Kakashabadu into Skaven and AZ, or Skaz, and I'll start doing ogre tactic videos eventually, and in return he gives a character in his army Lord Tremendous the moniker, and he agreed, so that's what we're doing. And so everyone say hello to my new shaman, Skaven and AZ, or Skaz. Then, of course, I have my second shaman, the Combuster, who's a level 2 wizard with the Skull Splitter and the Path of Fire. And then, of course, I still have my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Ogre Crossbow, the Heart Ripper, Yeti Furs, the Gem of Dragonfire, Troll Eater, and he's on his Tusker, the War Teddy. Yeah, possibly my favorite character ever. For my core choices, I have 7x Tribesman with Banner Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and the War Standard, and this is the unit that my general will go into. I have a second unit of 7x Tribesmen, the Good Old Boys, with Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and Heavy Armor. And then I have my 5x Tribesmen, the Inner Council, with Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and Heavy Armor. This is where Skaz will go, but I don't know. I'm going to keep these models. I really like these models, but in honor of Skaven and AZ, I'm thinking maybe I should use something more ratish, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. I'm debating. I'm still going to use these models for Tribesmen. I know some of you don't like it, and honestly... too bad. Just a dick like that. But yeah, I'm toying with the idea. We'll see. For my special choices, I start off with 5 Scrapling Trappers, my favorite pets. Then I have my 6 Merc Vet unit, the Storm of Retribution. They've got a Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Lethal Strike, Thunderous Charge, and the Stalker Standard. I'm toying with a few things with this list. Number one, the banner that I put them on. I tried the Dragonhide banner once, and I wasn't a huge fan because I didn't roll any ones. I'm sure if I rolled a bunch of ones, it'd be great. The Stalker Standard gives them Strider, which is huge. You've seen my reports. You know how many of these guys I like to lose. And I'm toying with swapping out the Iron Fist for Halberds. Strength 7 on the charge is amazing. So, I don't know. We'll see. And then, of course, I have my Kin Eater, Lady Elizabeth. Last, but incredibly far from least, is my Frost Mammoth, Rufus! And he's got a couple of Ogre crossbows on the guys he tows around. That's going to do it for my list. I'm going to post my opponent's list. Feel free to pause it whenever you'd like in order to see what he took. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here's deployment. Again, I'm not thrilled with how few placements I have. It kind of eats at me a little bit. And I also got to place first, which is why, once again, my opponent has completely out-deployed me. Like I said, I'm not great at this game, but I do enjoy it. My Merc Vets and my Combustor are way over on the left flank with absolutely nothing in front of them. And I saw that, and I was like, damn, both of those units are going to be out of this game until like turn 5. This sucks. Rufus and my 3 big units of tribesmen are more centered, and that's great. I can shoot them across into that thing. The hill there on the right side is impassable terrain. It's not a hill. It's some sort of just rock wall you can't get past, is what we decided. A couple of houses in the middle, too, so there's a nice little bottleneck between the two. And, yes, that is a wall near the blue house, so, you can't land on it and stuff. Anyway, all my tribesmen are in the middle, so that's good. I got a wall of meat shooting up there. I got Tremendous on the right flank, who's going to have to deal with those rioters and then get into there. So I'm not completely screwed, but he's got all the shooting and all the magic in his right corner, and I'm missing out. I got a 400 plus point unit of mercs and my second caster, who's supposed to deal with chaff and everything like that, way out of place. The only bonus to this is at least Rufus has the house blocking him and all his shooting, so it's something, but I have been completely out deployed here once again. Also, my trappers are right outside that house, the little blue house. Their job was to jump in it and just give me a 12-inch bubble of throwy stuff. Unfortunately, that probably won't come into play. So, well done by my opponent, and damn it, I got to learn how to deploy better. Here's top one after movement. I'm sorry about the blurry picture. The others were actually worse, if you can believe it. I got to go first because, like I said, I deployed everything first. And on the left flank, the combustor runs 12 inches just straight towards the middle. He's got to get into this game yesterday. My Merc Vets shoot up 12 inches just trying to get around the house. They're going to take the long way. I didn't think they could get between the two houses, and there's no reason to shoot them behind my line. So they're going to take the long way. There's no stopping it. They're going to be mostly out of this game. My general's unit shoots forward because, honestly, I know they're going to take a lot of damage anyway. They might as well. My BSB's unit, I don't want to march them through the forest, so I just brought them up 6 inches just to be safe. My inner council unit, the smaller unit, they move up kind of behind them because I really don't want them taking too many shots and to start taking panic checks. It makes me nervous. And Lord Tremendous is stupid. Oh my God! It went from never happening to happening at least once a game. So that's a damn shame. He was way outside the 12-inch range for the BSB. So yeah, he stumbled forward maybe 4 inches, and that sucks because I was going to have him charge the rioters because they're just too damn close. I think he can make that charge no problem. My Tusker has movement 8 with Swift Stride. Oh my God, I rolled the dice to see if I'd make it. I would have made it by a ton, and Tremendous would have been in the back lines doing his thing. It would have been glorious. But instead, he decided to drool all over War Teddy. What can you do? There's a better picture of Tremendous being stupid and, randomly walking up a handful of inches. During the magic phase, I get a whole bunch of protection spells off on my general's unit because I just have a feeling they're going to be the main target. I was nervous. And that's it. My shooting, I really don't have any, so we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and his is significantly more than I would have expected. His riders shoot around to start plinking away at Lord Tremendous. He couldn't find an angle where Lord Tremendous couldn't charge him afterwards, so he just went with what he had. He figured it would distract him for a while and keep Tremendous out of his back lines, and maybe even kill him. It is a lot of shots coming out of that unit. His little Pegasus captain moves up an inch away from the dangerous terrain, or the impassable terrain rock thing over there, and the rest of his units just kind of angle slightly to better countercharge, I think. He's got a lot of support units and stuff, so not really concerned with me for the most part. But other than that, he doesn't really have to move a whole lot. I've got to go into his wall of fire. I have no choice, and he knows that. During the shooting phase, I believe it's his little rocket blaster thing back there, fires at my BSB's unit, long range and all that other stuff. He can see him because they're medium to his small. Doesn't matter a whole hell of a lot because it's scattered ice. He direct hits and ends up killing 2 of my damn tribesmen. It was an amazing, amazing shot. I was very impressed by that thing because I haven't seen a rocket battery type of war machine in years. And then I think it's his volley gun shoots into him and kills another one. Almost gets 2 again. I think it does 5 wounds total, forcing a panic check, which I pass. But holy crap! I'm not going to have too many tribesmen if this shooting keeps up the way it is. So we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and again, I'm just funneling forward. On the left flank there, my Merc Vets do their 12-inch. They slow down a bit because they have to wheel. And then the Combustor runs up in between the 2 houses. He's finally in range to do some stuff with magic. Elizabeth comes on the table because my baby girl knows I'm in trouble. And the rest of my tribesmen, they move forward. I was a little cautious with my BSB's unit because I didn't know what the captain had on him. I didn't know what his kit out was, and I didn't want him in my flank. So I moved up my BSB's unit a little cautious. Maybe that was stupid, but I was just nervous. My general's unit moves up. I'm not too concerned about his captain taking my flank there, simply because my lord should be able to take him out. I had faith. And I was close enough where if I had to charge the volley gun because Elizabeth couldn't or had a better target, because I actually was going to send Elizabeth into his handgunner team if they didn't turn to face her, then my general's unit could slam into the volley gun, destroy it, and possibly overrun into the gunners, and that would be huge. And then, of course, the inner council, they just kind of come up to support the rest of the tribesmen and try to get spells off. Rufus comes up to support them. He only goes 6 inches, so he can shoot. My trappers go into the little blue house, and Lord Tremendous, who is not stupid this turn, charges the riders, weathers their stand and shoot. He hasn't taken any damage because he's the man, and makes it into them, which is huge. There's a better picture of Tremendous slamming into these guys, and hopefully he makes short work of them. Nothing happens in magic or shooting, so we go straight into combat, and Tremendous is able to kill 3 of these bastards. I think 1 in with impact hits, and 2 just in combat. Heart Ripper is a wonderful, wonderful weapon. He in return does nothing to me. I've got 3 wounds and a charge. He's got no steadfast. He breaks. And when he breaks, he goes through the impassable terrain and the unit. 2 of the guys go through impassable terrain. Both die, okay? And because remember, when you're fleeing through impassable terrain and enemy units, it's DT3 checks. So he rolls 2 dice for the guys that go through the impassable terrain. Both of them die. And then he rolls 2 dice for the guys that go through my tribesmen, and both of them die. So the unit dies to dangerous terrain checks after Tremendous scares them off. It was the desired result, but not according to plan. But I'll take it, because, you know, I'm needy. So with that all said and done, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and my opponent just kind of reform. As you can see, his bricks are kind of aligned, symmetrical, and stuff like that, looking at me, because he knows it's a long-ass charge, and I think my opponent knows me well enough to know that I have every intention in the world of trying the long-distance charge, because sometimes it works out, and really it's all I've got at this point. His captain on a Pegasus flies over the impassable terrain and lands behind Lord Tremendous in order to start harassing him a little bit because the rioters are gone now. And that's really about it. During the magic phase, he augments up his great sword unit and his halberdier unit. I think they get to reroll hits, and the other one gets maybe reroll wounds. I don't remember. He augments one, and the other one gets like +1 strength and +1 toughness. That's what it was. So his greatsword guys get to reroll hits with some prayer from the preacher, and the halberdiers get +1 strength, +1 toughness from the Path of Wilderness. So that was pretty cool. What's really cool, though, is his little sneaky fart smeller wizard guy. He gets that spell off with overwhelming power and ends up miscasting 5. Now, he used the lore attribute prior to the miscast to funnel his guy away from the unit and ended up right there. So the template actually didn't hit anything but the caster, which was good for him, but he still took a wound and it pretty much ended his magic phase. So that was awesome. Over here, though, in the shooting phase, the volley gun shoots Lady Elizabeth, which was smart, and just blows her to bits. He does like 8 wounds to her, and I only saved 3. She dies horrendously, and it was super disappointing because she was prime set where she was at. And it's also the first time I've ever seen her go down like that. I mean, really, really devastating to my plans. You know, honestly, I'd rather her take the shots and die for 90 points than any more of my tribesmen getting blown away by the damn thing. But still, devastating to see her go down. She's one of my favorites, you know? Then these guys, handgunners, shoot up my general's unit, kill a tribesman, put a wound on another. So, yeah, I need to get a hold of that guys quick. And then once again, his rocket gun, or whatever it is, the rocket battery thing that he's got, fires at this tribesman again and pops another one. That thing is devastating me. With no combat, we go over here to top of 3 after movement. The Combustor and the Merc-Vets are still running across the board as fast as they can. The Trappers come out of the house and move up. I was hoping to be able to get him within 12 inches of the handgunners and maybe shoot at him a little bit, give my opponent something else to shoot at in the off chance he takes me up on that opportunity. My general's unit charges the volley gun because Elizabeth is dead, and they make it, which is great because I'm going to pop that thing and slam into those handgunners, and I really need that. And then the greatest thing that happened in this turn were my BSB's unit and the tribesmen, the 3 he has left, charged that little hand weapon shield support unit in the middle. They're 11 inches away, but I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll make it. And if I do, great. And if not, at tops, I'm going to move up 6 inches, which is all I want to move up with these guys anyway, because I'm just too far away to do anything else. And so I roll it, 2d6, roll an 11 exactly. We had to measure again just to make sure, and I make it. And there's just enough space for 4 tribesmen to make it in there. absolute greatest thing that happened so far in this game. Other than that, Tremendous runs up and the tribesmen run up to support that charge because I couldn't believe I made it. And then Rufus turns to just start firing his crossbows at the captain on a Pegasus, just pot-shotting him. There's an incredibly good picture of my Khan and his tribesmen making an 11-inch charge, needing an 11 to make this charge. It was a 17-inch charge. These guys have earned it. They're pissed off is what it is. And there's a better picture of my general's unit slamming into the volley gun, and that's going to go well. During the magic phase, I get a small fireball off on the handgunners that does nothing. I think the lore attribute is actually what kills one guy. Just the dice god said no. However, I get Smoldering Ember off on my general's unit, which is really big because now they got +1 toughness, fireborn, and a 5-up ward save. So that, considering they're in a lot of danger right now, that's huge. So we go into the best part of the game, combat, and of course I obliterate the war machine. It's not even difficult. And then we overrun into the handgunners team, who make their panic check, and we slam into them like so. I've maximized, everyone is in base to base, and his great sword unit can barely see the back corner of my last tribesman. The problem with that is he can't charge into me because that brick, that greatsword brick, is too big to hit me. So it's actually an illegal charge. He can't fit up against me, and since I can't turn to fit hit him, I can't wheel or anything like that to synchronize up with him. He can't make the charge, and that's what actually is going to save this unit. Over here, it goes a little worse. The war altar in the background there causes every friendly unit within 6 inches to be distracting, so I'm at a further -1 to hit these guys. I mean, I'm only weapon skill 3 to begin with, so I'm already hitting pretty much everything on 4s. Now I gotta hit these guys on 5s, so that kind of sucks a lot. I still do pretty good. I kill a whole bunch of these guys. I lose another tribesman for my trouble. I do win this combat, but he's got a 2nd rank, so he's steadfast, and he sticks because his BSB is literally right next to him. He failed the first one, he made the 2nd one, so really wasn't expecting that. So with battle over, we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and there's not really any. His greatsword unit tried to charge my general's unit and couldn't make it for the reasons we discussed. His halberdier unit wanted to charge my tribesman, but when he killed that one guy, I had taken from the right because the BSB's not dead, and he can't make it in there. He can't wheel past his support unit and still hit me. So he did well in that combat, but he kind of blocked the halberdier, so they have to try to readjust now to get in there. The other support unit in there is kind of blocking their repositioning movement, so that everything's moving around, and then his little wizard guy runs away in order to try to help everything get repositioned. So he's got a bit of a traffic jam going on his end of the table. On my end of the table, though, his little his captain, damn it, on a Pegasus charges the flank of my inner council with Skaz in there. That really shocked me. I thought he was going after Lord Tremendous, and he saw that. I had no idea it was coming. Very well played on my opponent, so what can you do? But yeah, that's pretty much it for movement. There's a better picture of his captain on a Pegasus slamming into Skaz's unit, and I'm a little nervous about that one. I know I'm going to be steadfast, but it still makes me a little nervous that he made it into this unit. I'm worried he's going to kill my caster is what it is. During the shooting phase, he fires his rocket battery thing at Lord Tremendous, and it would have deviated probably into my tribesman. However, he rolls a 6, so it misfires, and he ends up misfiring 5, which ends up just making it so that thing takes a wound, which is good. It helps me take it out once I get something into it, but and it stopped it from shooting at Lord Tremendous. This thing has been the bane of my tribesmen this game, so I'll take what I can get. So we go into combat over here, and his guy does a couple of wounds to me, so he's got, and I do nothing back to him because his 1-up armor save is really hard for a 4 strength to get through. So he's got 2 wounds, charge, and a flank to banner and a rank. I lose by 2, but I'm steadfast, and thank God I make my leadership 8 friggin' break check. Then I make my leadership check in order to turn and face him and get that flank away from him. So I get more attacks now, but this is not a fight that's going to be easy for them to win. In combat over here, it does not go well. I think I kill 2 or 3 of his guys, and in return, I lose another tribesman. I think I win this combat. I'm not 100% on that one, but it doesn't matter because he's still steadfast. He's still not going anywhere, and I'm getting my ass kicked by this support unit because I need 5s to hit him, and it's incredible. I don't know what to do. Over here, not surprising, I'm able to decimate this unit. I think there's like 7 guys left out of 20 when the smoke clears. To be perfectly honest with you, I think they auto-break. So before he rolls what he's going to roll for his fleet, I decide I'm going to restrain and reform because I don't want to miss the opportunity I have with this greatsword unit here. It's my turn next. So I make my restraint check, and he ends up rolling like a 3 to flee, and as you can see, he's not off the board. Luckily, my trappers came out of the house last turn and came forward, so they are actually well within charge range to get this thing. However, the way where my trappers are at, I wanted to move them out of the way, get them in and start kind of chaffing stuff if I could, or get them to go after the rocket battery. But now I have to charge his handgunners off the table to secure those points and make sure they don't rally. And if I do that, they're going to block the mercenary veterans yet again, putting them even further out of this game. So, yay, I get another great choice to make in my next turn. So I end up deciding in top of 4 here after movement that my trappers are going to charge the handgunners off the table, and they charge off the table. My trappers move up like 2 inches, which sucks. To be perfectly honest, had they not fled, they had to, but had they not, I don't think the trappers would have made the damn charge, which is probably good for them. My general's unit slams into the greatswords. Lord Tremendous slams into the greatswords, and that's really it. I move Rufus around behind the inner circle tribesman so I can shoot at his wizard with the ogre crossbows because I want him dead. The combustor moves up to do the same thing, and thanks to the trappers, my mercenary veterans have to wheel a whole bunch, and then they make about an inch of forward progress because of that. So I don't know if they're going to get into the damn game at this point. There's a better picture of my general's unit and Lord Tremendous slamming into the greatsword guys, and that's still going to be a rough combat because I'm still going to need like 5s to hit them. But with all the impact hits I'm about to do and stomps, I'm hoping that it's enough to tilt the combat in my favor. And there's a better picture of my trappers securing the points for the handgunner unit, which is awesome. So nothing happens in magic or shooting. I don't get anything off, and my shooting just completely misses. So we go into combat, and it's brutal over here. I think I killed like 12 of these guys. In return, I lose a tribesman, and 1 takes a wound. Lord Tremendous ends up in a challenge with his preacher, who has the Locket of Suna, which is the item of identity theft, where you trade all your stats. And the only reason I win this combat is because my war teddy beats the ever-loving shit out of him. Tremendous got 1 wound through because he only had like 2 attacks. But he ends up, 1 wound got through, but the war teddy beats this guy's ass with Tremendous's stats. Oh my god, War Teddy is the most vicious damn mount on the table. I love him. Over here, again, this support unit is amazing. I still hitting them on 5s because of everything. I kill some of them. They don't do really anything back to me. I win, but they're still steadfast, and they stick. This support unit is holding up my BSB's unit. I mean, it's like 100, 150 point unit tops, and it's stopping my like 400, 500 point unit altogether. It's incredible, and it's pissing me off. And then over here, believe it or not, I actually win this combat. He does 1 wound, killing a tribesman. He's just rolling like shit. I mean, nothing else for it. He kills a tribesman. I have a banner. So we're tied, but I have a musician, so he loses combat, but he takes no negatives, and he makes his break check no problem. So with that all done, we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and his halberdiers make it into my BSB's unit, which is super, super bad. That unit is screwed. His wizard moves back a little bit, just so that he can't be shot at anymore. He realized he was way too close and got way too lucky. And that's really it. Everything else he has is locked in combat, so movement is quick. There's a better picture of his halberdiers slamming into my one remaining tribesman in the Khan. This is not looking good for the home team. And since nothing happens in magic or shooting, we go straight into combat, and his little captain on a Pegasus kills, just flat out murders one of my tribesmen. I think he does 3 wounds to him. I've got a banner, so he wins by 2. I'm steadfast, and I make my break check. Thank the gods once again. Right here, yeah, he's able to kill my tribesman off, no problem. So the unit is destroyed. He's got the points. My BSB doesn't do anything. I think maybe he kills a guy with stomps. Maybe he kills one guy and then and stomps another. I can't remember exactly, but it is far from enough for charge, flank, 3 rank, super flank, banner, BSB, and God only knows what else. So I lose this combat, and I believe I auto-break. But if you can believe it, his halberdier unit pursued, his swordsman unit did not. They restrained, and my Khan actually got away. I rolled like a 9 to my opponent's 5 or 6. He could not overrun into Tremendous because he hit the greatsword unit first. Say what you will about my opponent, the man plays fair. And yeah, so they stop an inch away from the greatsword unit, but next turn he's going to be able to charge no problem. My BSB does take dangerous terrain checks and passes them, if you can believe it. DT3s, I know. And he takes 2 of them, and I believe he passes both of them, but he is no longer a BSB. He dropped it and ran. So me and Connor are going to have a talk after this. And then we go into the combat against the greatsword guys, and it's a big-time fight. Tremendous takes a wound. I lose another tribesman. A handful of the greatsword guys die. They lose, but they're still stubborn. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Tremendous took out not his preacher, maybe his preacher. No, his demon hunter is what I fought last time, and I took out his preacher this time. So that's what happened. And they do lose, but they're stubborn, and they make their check. So whatever. So it's starting to come on down to it, and we're at top of 5 after movement. Rufus, I move him around because I realized, oh crap, my inner council needs help against this damn captain or they're going to die, because I'm not going to keep making these leadership 8 break checks. I'm not going to be stubborn much longer. The combustor moves up slightly. I don't want him to be charged by that support unit. They will beat him to death, but at the same time, I want to be able to throw hate at his wizard because I want him dead. My merc vets move up. They're starting to creep around this hill. They may have a charge next turn, hopefully, but like I said, it's turn 5 and they're just getting into this game. My Khan rallies, which is amazing, and I'm very pleased about it. He turns the face like towards the merc vets because there's no way he's going to be able to do anything else. I know he's not a BSB anymore, but and my opponent got the 100 points for getting the BSB, but I'm hoping that maybe I can turn him around and use him, and it saves his points, which is huge. Other than that, though, everything else I have is deader in combat. There's a better picture of Khan rallying, that glorious, glorious bastard. During the magic phase, Skaz gets some spells. Well, he gets a spell off. He gets +1 toughness off on his unit, which is big because I need some help over here. And then Rufus is able to get Blizzard off on his captain there, which makes him -1 to hit and -1 to his leadership. So with a little luck, when Rufus gets in there, he starts failing some fear checks. And hopefully I can kill the guy before he kills off my unit. And then over here, I get Smoldering Embers off on my General's unit, which once again is great because now they've got a 5-up board save and +1 toughness. I really like that spell. So we go into combat. I don't do anything to this guy because he's still got that 1-up armor save. He does 1 wound to me. I have a banner. It's a tied combat. I have a musician. I win this combat. He loses the combat. He's got to take a break check, but with no negatives. And my opponent rolls like an 11. It's insane. He breaks. Don't have a picture of it or anything like that, but he gets away. I do not pursue. I turn to face the rest of the unit, or the rest rest of the combat because I don't want to take Skaz away from everything because his spells are going to be required. Even though there's only like a turn left, I'm worried. I want his spells there. I don't want him chasing after the Pegasus. And it turned out to be a great idea too because he ended up running like 10 inches and I only would have went after him like 5. So totally wouldn't have been worth it. But yes, they actually, Skaz leads his unit to victory by scaring the guy away, by breaking his hand with his face or something. Just crazy that happened. Then in combat over here, we beat down a lot more of his great swordsmen. I think he's got like 6 left, maybe 7. His general's in the unit, and his general's trying his best to beat the crap out of me, but I've still got parry, and so it's hard for him to get to me. He's distracting, so it's hard for me to get to him. It's my stomps that are really carrying me through this. And you know what? I'm just going to have to whittle them down to nothing because I don't have any other choice. There's really nothing else I can send in, and there's nothing else I can do. So we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement because everything else was done on top. And yeah, it's the beginning of the end. The Halberdiers slam in the Lord Tremendous, which sucks. He's going to have so much freaking combat res now. I don't know what I'm going to do. In other news, his supporting units just kind of stand there and look at me funny. His wizard runs behind the impassable terrain so that he doesn't take another withering round of magic and fire, which actually hasn't done anything to him. I just can't seem to hit anything, meaty. His captain on a Pegasus rallies, and that is about it. There's a better picture of his halberdier unit slamming into Lord Tremendous, and like I said, that pretty much signals the end. Nothing happens in magic, so we go into the shooting phase, and again, his rocket battery fires and misfires 5. It's insane that this keeps happening. Like I said, he ends up misfiring 5 and takes another wound with no saves of any kind allowed. It's huge because he was shooting at my Merc vets. They ran all the way across the table to become cannon fodder, and luckily the guys that are running the rocket batteries don't know which way is up. Thank you, dice gods. So we go to combat over here, and it actually goes pretty well. Lord Tremendous he issues a challenge, and I think his unit champion accepts in the halberdier unit, and I'm able to do a few wounds to him, maybe 4 altogether. My general's unit does a little bit of damage to the greatsword unit, maybe 3 or 4 more guys die. I think I lose a tribesman in return. Tremendous takes no damage. In the end, we do lose. I think I lose by 3. 2 or 3. I'm not 100% on that one. But thanks to the general's leadership of 9, I make both my break checks. Now, I'm not stubborn or steadfast or anything of the sort. But I make both my break checks. I don't have a reroll. I don't think that I have my BSB is gone. The character's still there, but he threw the banner down and pissed on it. So I got lucky as hell and made both my break checks, and so we stick, and that was completely unexpected. I totally and thoroughly expected to break, flee, and get run down here. And then to make matters even better for me, I'm able to pass my leadership check and reform, bringing my 2 tribesmen around to the back so I can get their supporting attacks, and hopefully finish off the damn greatsword unit before it's too late. So we go over here to top of 6 after movement, and it all comes down to this. My mercenary veterans, who have been sprinting across the battlefield the entire game, have made it at top of 6. They perform the most critical charge of the entire game, and they make it. They charge into the flank of the halberdier unit. I had to send my combustor in as well in order to make way for the Merc vets, and he makes it as well, and that's the ball game. My Merc vets are going to just myrtlate the entire unit, and I'm thrilled. My Skaz's unit with the inner council turned to face the captain, just simply because the center of the board is pretty much secure now. Rufus runs up to get in the way of the captain, so he can't charge anything because he can't see past him because he's a large target, and I don't want Skaz's unit to get blown away at the last minute. And that's really it. I leave my trappers and leave my BSB where they are because they're not going to contribute anywhere, and I don't want them anywhere near anything where they could get killed. There's a better picture of my mercenary veterans finally getting into this combat, and what a time to get into it. In the magic phase, I get +1 toughness off on the merc vets. In the shooting phase, nothing happens. So we go into combat, and it goes so my way. My mercenary vets murder the halberdier unit. I mean, I'm talking over a dozen dead just in combat. They take like 1 wound in return. Tremendous and the generals in my generals unit are able to finish off the great swords. The war teddy, my Tusker, is able to kill off a bunch of the tribesmen the halberdiers anyway as well. I don't even know if the combustor attacks. My general tries to attack his general and fails. The same it happens in return because the dice gods have frowned upon my opponent. I win this combat. The halberdier unit has lost so many guys, they're no longer steadfast. They break, get run down by my mercenary vets who overrun into the support unit of sword and shield guys that killed my BSB's unit. Lord Tremendous overruns because he's no longer in combat, and the general flees and gets away because my general's unit fails to catch him. What an insane turn of events. It went from a slaughter for my opponent to slaughtering my opponent, all thanks to my mercenary veterans. I love that unit. So here we are, bottom of 6 after movement, and his supporting unit in the right flank there charged into the combustor. I stood, I shot, I missed. The combustor is probably going to get sacrificed here. Other than that, nothing else happens. His rocket battery turns the face, his war altar comes close just to give the supporting units distracting. The wizard moves up because he knows he's safe, and the paladin under Pegasus moves over to try to pop the... the inner council, possibly kill the guy who's got 2 wounds left on him, forcing a panic check maybe, but that was about it. My opponent, he was a great sport about it. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't bitter or anything like that, but just so unexpected, such a weird twist in that last round of combat that he's just kind of like, oh crap. Oh, I'm giddy. What can I tell you? There's a better picture of his support unit there slamming into the combustor, and that's really not looking good for him. Oh, and I almost forgot. His general failed to rally and is still going to be fleeing at the end of the game. That's where he's at right now. During the shooting phase, his rocket battery fires at my general's unit and kills 2 more. Almost killed 3. Really impressive shooting by that thing. That rocket battery is something else. I do make my break check, my panic check from it, but holy crap, I wish I had killed that thing. Then over here, his paladin shoots at my unit and is able to slip another wound through. Not enough to do anything, but hey, can't blame him for the effort. And then we go into combat, and the combustor survives, kinda, but he's fleeing and half dead at the end of the game, so he might as well have died, because I do believe it stacks. They don't catch him, they end up right there, and that's fine. It was a bad placement on my part. In combat over here, my mercenary vets, of course, are able to finish off the last of the support unit because they've got so many attacks, distracting doesn't even matter. And yeah, since the altar was so close when that unit was destroyed within 6 inches, it took a panic check, failed, and almost ran off the table. So yeah, the mercenary vets come in, finish off the halberdiers, run them down, finish off the support unit that took out the BSB's unit, secures those points, and then gets me half points for the altar. Merc Vets, MVP of the world. So there it is. There's the end of the game, guys and gals. Just unbelievable, the highs and lows in this game. On both sides, there was a ton of highs. The 11-inch charge, 17-inch charge made my BSB's unit just so that they could get stopped cold by a support unit long enough for the halberdier unit to come finish them off. The BSB gets away and rallies and then doesn't do anything else the rest of the game. The Merc Vets running across the table for 6 turns in order to make the game-winning charge at the last possible instant, and then securing those points, saving my general's unit, saving Lord Tremendous, and then securing the support unit points, and then getting me half points for the altar. Holy crap! This was something else, but you know, we'll get to the recap in a minute because right now this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So in the end, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I got 2,331 out of him. He got 756 out of me for a difference of 1,575. I ended up losing the banner, my BSB banner, the Combustor, the Good Old Boys, half of my Tribesman unit, and Elizabeth. So I took some pretty significant losses. I know I've said it 100 times, but the Mercenary Vets won me this game at the last possible second, coming from across the damn table. God bless that unit. However, my BSB's 11-inch charge, well, 17-inch charge was pretty insane. The odds of that happening were 1 in 12. So yeah, very pleased about that. I'm liking the kit on Berserk so far, so I think I'm going to tweak it. I want to try Rotten Jaw, but we'll see. And I don't know, I like having a great con again in the list. It makes me feel powerful. Poor Elizabeth never had a chance, just got obliterated off the table, and that's really kind of eating at me a lot. Between her getting just obliterated and not showing up in the games until like turn 6 or not at all lately is wearing on me. And my con just getting the poop end of the stick this game, but rallying after he broke and getting away was pretty impressive, all in all. So my opponent definitely introduced me to some really cool Empire of Sunstal units. The Divine Altar with the distracting thing is amazing. Everything within 6 inches of it, the friendly units, are distracting. That -1 to hit is murder, and it caused the demise of my BSB's unit. Speaking of which, that Swordman support unit was just outstanding, the way it stopped my unit cold. Rocket batteries, haven't seen one of those in forever. I can't even begin to tell you. I don't even know if there's one in any of my battle reports, even back when 8th edition was a thing. So that thing not being taken more often blows my mind, I gotta be honest with you. The only thing that really kind of helped me out and bought me the time I needed for my Merc-Vents to come and be heroes was the traffic jam caused by my opponent's close-up group. I mean, just a little bit different movement, and this game would have been much shorter and much more one-sided. But as you all saw, this was a very, very excellent game, which, once again, just getting lucky as hell. I was able to pull it out. This is an excellent opponent. Good attitude the entire time. Frustrated with a few things, of course, but never took it out on me, never let it get to him or anything like that. In fact, I think it motivates him. And I'm loving his list design, the way it's changing and adapting. Very soon, I'm not going to be able to beat this guy. I'm going to let you know right now. Spoilers! So I'm very, very much looking forward to his future list designs. Should be very, very cool. Real quick, I would like to say thank you to everybody that supports me through Patreon and PayPal and everything like that. These are the ones that allow me to say thank you. There's some that would prefer to remain anonymous, and I'll respect that. Alex of the Veil Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, and Daniel Jolson. Thank you guys very, very much. As well as all of you anonymous donors and everything. Thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope I continue to earn all of this. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Battle Report number 28 is officially in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.